Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Damon Looks. So I'm going to show you the page and the photos, okay, of my guest. So, Angela Hart from SmaartMom. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, hello.
So I have your photos up. Tell everyone who you are, first of all, and what SmaartMom means.
Okay, my name is actually Angela Hart, H-A-R-T. My alias has become SmaartMom because of a group I started, probably 14, 15 years ago. SmaartMom is actually spelled SMAARTMOM. I know it doesn't sound very smart, but it actually breaks down for strong mothers altering autism's reality together. But that's what I started initially. And eventually, I guess my calling came to progress into the Autism Welcome Decals symbol. And that's what brought me here today.
So your son is also in this photo. Tell everyone his name and his age.
Dustin has just turned 25, actually, on the 1st of August. He is somewhat severely autistic. Although he's 25, his mentality is more of a 3 to 5 year old child. It's been that way for some time. Although I'm still plugging at trying to get him to progress further along every day. So I'm juggling quite a bit, trying to get him further along than where he is now.
Okay. So our connection is Kathy Kasu. How do you know Kathy?
Kathy actually approached me at an event I came to over in Sorrento a little while back, and actually Batman even came up and approached us, and he said he knew who we were, and then all of a sudden here she came, and apparently she had found out about us through the social media and came across the Autism Welcome video that I created back in 2018. And I was kind of surprised, that they were basically looking at us like we were celebrities, which that was kind of I'm very grounded. That took me by surprise, but it was flattering. It was nice to know that we were being seen, because I've been doing this since I started back in 2012, and I wasn't expecting it to take off like it has, although I'm thrilled it has. But it took off pretty quickly. 2013, as a matter of fact, it was taking off so well that I actually had to reach out to a friend of mine who helped me copyright the symbol, because it was very much getting seen, and people were trying to take advantage of it for other purposes, primarily making their own little profits, and that's not what I'm about.
Okay. So, I could ask you some questions, but I really want you to have this time to really tell everyone out there your mission and what your purpose is and why we're doing this interview, because I'm sure there's some important facts that you want everyone to know.
Sure. So a lot of people, when they first found out about the symbol, they really couldn't understand why I was coming up with a symbol that was stating autism welcomed. I got a little bit of backlash in the beginning because they just kind of felt like, well, every place should welcome autism. And I agree with that. However, that's not what the purpose of my symbol is. What initially put this one in gear is obviously with Dustin, as he's gotten older, it hasn't gotten any easier, especially now that he looks like a grown man. And my grown man, my big little man, he carries friends, plush friends. And with these guys, it's really hard for them to make friends.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell him he cannot take his comfort friends into public places with him, because that really is helping him cope with going into those everyday places that I know are going to rock his world and are not sensory friendly, which in the initial beginning, I was looking for those kind of places. But realistically, that's not prepping him for life. And I'm not going to be here forever. And I don't want to sound harsh, but it's just a fact of life, so I need to prepare him for that. And I want him to be able to go into those public places that, that we know aren't, sensory friendly, such as Lowe's and, well, even McDonald's or Burger King. Those places are not sensory friendly, but they're one of our favorite places to go, like a lot of my families. And we still go into them, but I wanted him to go into those places, and I didn't want people to, well, let's just put it this way. We went into one particular place, and I don't want to mention the name of the place, but when he went in there with me, he got very excited over something he saw in the store, and he started jumping and flapping and carrying on. It wasn't a meltdown. It wasn't a fit. He was excited, but he gets very loud. My son has no filter. He has no volume, and I am not going to shut him down when he's excited, what mother would. So I let him stem and get excited, and surprisingly was approached by somebody in that store who worked there, who actually asked us to leave because they said that my son was being disruptive.
You're kidding.
So no, I was quite upset about that, and I've been on this road for a long time. I mean, he's 25. I've been doing this for a very long time. I have run into some good people, but I've run into my share of not so nice people. And I just, I started thinking, if this were someone just going down this journey with autism, and they don't have the years and strength that I have developed, I think they would probably burst out in tears and never want to venture into any place ever again. I mean, everybody says the number of autism is so high, but yet my problem was when every time I go into any place, it was like we were the only ones with autism. And I thought, well, gosh, if the number is so high, where are we all? And it really, really bugged me. The only time I was seeing other families like myself is if I was going to an event. And even then, when I went to an event, they have that event most of the time in April, because April is Autism Awareness Month, which is great. But autism for us is every day. There is no day off for us. There is no time for us to kind of get together with friends. And actually, I've lost a lot of what I thought were good friends who have kindly faded me out of their lives because they just can't accept my life. And Dustin is my life. And I do tend to talk a lot about autism, but it's no different than a lot of people who have different careers. They tend to talk about their careers. Well, autism is basically that for me, but it's my life. So I've in turn had a hard time making friends as well as my son. So anyway, getting back to that symbol though, we wanted to do something, my son and I, to change the way people looked at it. We wanted to not have to worry about other families going into those everyday public places and being asked to leave. We don't want them to ever feel like they can't go into a place. And we want them to learn to go into places that aren't sensory friendly as well, but ones that we know that are going to say, hey, we get it, we understand, we've got your back. You will not be asked to leave if your son or your daughter has a meltdown. You're okay. So I threw together a lot of pictures that I collaborated over a very short amount of time. And actually, even though I started back in 2013 with the copyright, it was about 2015 that we were actually invited out to start talking to emergency personnel, police officers, and talk to them about it. And that was really nice. We started doing that for a few years. But then slowly I was getting out there with Facebook. I was getting out there with social media, and all of this by myself. I didn't have anybody out there kind of doing it with me because I'm not an organization. I'm just a little symbol out there. I kind of consider myself no different than the little smile, happy face back in the 70s and 60s, that says, just be happy kind of thing. It's just the feeling, that it doesn't really stand for anything except a feeling. Just a heart symbol. It's just a feeling. It's a little symbol that ignites that. And that's all my symbol does, but it does it with a twist. So eventually we ended up getting recognized more and more because I was finding more places that were being touched by what I was doing. And basically all they are asked to do is take this symbol and place it at the entranceway of their businesses, so that when these families go to these places, they know right off the bat that it's just, I mean, it's a given. It says autism welcomed. And you know, right off the bat, I've had so many families and kids, you know, that they think that that's for them, which it is, you know, but they think it's literally made just for them, which is really nice. I've had a lot of families thank me about it. I've had people take selfies and tag me and say, hey, look where we found the symbol. And, you know, they're finding them in places they never thought they would see them. I've managed to get this little symbol in McDonald's, Lowe's and Burger King's. Even before Toys R Us shut down, not related to my symbol, of course, but Toys R Us was actually jumping on board and had my symbol in 2 of their places already. So it was really starting to get out there. But after a while, you know, it started taking off to the point where I was invited on other radio stations. I was even found myself in 2 different newspapers in 2017 and 2018. So, I mean, I was just kind of floored, but I was getting this kind of attention over this little symbol. And here I'm not even an organization. I'm just a little symbol, you know, but nobody seemed to care at this point. And Dustin was even acknowledged and nominated community ambassador by the Autism Society of Greater Orlando back in 2017 for, you know, creating the symbol and doing what he's done. So it's been a really refreshing and honor to be able to go this far with this symbol. But yeah, it's come a long way in a little bit of time, really. I mean, I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine back then, looking back, that, you know, we would have gone this far with it. And now we're in Pennsylvania.
So where do you guys live?
We are in Florida. But I have mentioned a number of times to people that reach out to me, and I try to reach out to, that, you know, autism is not just here in Florida, it's everywhere. And once I started getting that out there, I've had other places and other states reach out to me and give the symbol a home. And they can go right to my website, which is www.autismwelcomed, and that's with a D at the end.com. Or they can go to my Facebook page, which is Autism Welcome Decal Symbol. And they can get the symbols there. And the only stipulation I have is they have to send me a picture of them smiling with the symbol at the entranceway. And it has to stay there every day. The clincher with that is, one, it shows that I'm not the one putting it there. The business put it there.
Right.
So it wasn't just like I went up there and said, okay, this is where my symbol is going to go. So that says that the business is on board. And the second thing was, I wanted to make sure that they understood that, you know, this has to be there every day, because I want them to know that when they go in there, that it's not going to just be there in April. Autism Awareness Month is great, but I wanted to see the symbol everywhere, every day, not just in April. So a lot of these places have remained to do that. I've got like 9 Ace Hardwares now that have jumped on board over here in Florida. I've had, there's a Dustin's Barbecue here. They've got 5 restaurants here in Florida, and all 5 have jumped on board and put their symbol in the entranceways. But it's incredible how far it's come. But then I started running into an issue with some of the families reaching out. They wanted to meet us. And I kind of wanted to meet everybody too, you know, because like I said, it's hard to make friends, and I totally get that. And I want Dustin to make friends. So, and a lot of these families they're single moms and single dads. You know, they don't have support like I do with my husband. My husband and I have been together for 32 years. I've got 3 kids with my husband. Dustin's my baby. My oldest son's 33 and my daughter's 29, but Dustin, of course, is my baby, being the baby 25. But, you know, a lot of people don't have that support. My husband and I are rare in the autism community, because divorce is very high, obviously, because autism is not an easy thing to live with. So I wanted to go a little bit further with the symbol, which is probably putting more on my plate, but that's nothing new. I always seem to put more on my plate, but again, I had another calling. So what I decided to do is, in some of these places that were capable, I set up what's called an autism welcome test drive.
Okay.
The idea was, one, for them to be able to meet me in person, meet Dustin, and two, to give them a new experience that they may have not tried otherwise, as well as trying to get that feeling of strength that they may not be able to do by going into these places on their own. It's always easier when you're in numbers, of course. So it's nice to have another friend or a group of friends to come along. And they knew that that symbol was going to be there every day, which is a nice clincher as well. So I started doing some of these places. One primarily was a place over in Fort White, Florida. There's a kayaking place called Rum 138 Kayak Rental. Now, that place has jumped on board probably 4 or 5 years ago now.
Okay.
And that was the first time Dustin and I ever kayaked. And I always test drive him first before I do a test drive with others. We're the guineas. And honestly, I had my reservations because Dustin tends to flap and jump. And all I could see is us ending up in the water. But it went really well. So he was very tranquil and very serene when we went down the river. And it was so relaxing. And I definitely needed a timeout, and that was the best place to go. So I decided this was great. I got to share this. So I got with the owners, and they gave me a really affordable deal for everybody to come.
Okay.
And usually it's, pretty expensive to do those kind of things. I keep my test drives very inexpensive. That's another thing. A lot of these places, you go to these events, which I don't do events. I do test drives because that's what they are. It's a chance for you to come out and check it out. If you like it, you come back. But some of them are expensive. And I know certainly I wouldn't want to spend $30 or even $20 on a test drive that is going to, end up where my son goes in for 5 minutes and I have to walk him out because he can't handle it. And then I'm out that money. We don't have that kind of money to just check it out. And then if it doesn't work out. So this is a way that, and I refund, which nobody else does either. If it doesn't work out, I'll refund you your $5 or your $10, which I keep them very, very reasonable. And it's just something I don't see out there. I'm trying to really give back to families that are walking in my shoes because I completely and utterly get it. And I think a lot of these places that are saying they're autism awareness or supportive, a lot of them are great. I don't want to knock anybody out there. However, I think for some of those places, I think they forget where and why they started what they did. And it doesn't become about the families anymore. It becomes about, I don't know, a nonprofit. I don't know that it's really a nonprofit at that point.
Okay.
I'm a not-for-profit is the way I come off to myself.
Right.
I never ask for any money. If anybody gives me anything like that, I put it right back in. If I got a family that wants to go kayak and they can't afford a kayak, if they message out to me, I'll work it out with them and I'll use whatever funding was given to me to do that.
Yes.
Because they deserve that. They deserve to experience something like that they wouldn't have done otherwise. And I think it was just before the pandemic hit, I had up to 35 people come to the kayaking. And it was just amazing. 30 of us kayaking down this river. And everybody had such a great time. And it's just, there's a lot of things like that out there I try to do. We do horseback riding at some of these other places. I found a place called Tomorrow's Equestrian Center over there in Morriston, Florida. Really another nice place. And that was the first time Dustin horseback ride. So, I'm giving my son first time experiences and I'm passing it on to others just like my son. And I'm making all that possible. I've never thought my son would climb a wall, but there's a place that opened up a while back called D.A.M.O.N over in D.A.M.O.N. And for the first time, I got my son to climb a wall, not all the way up the wall, but he got maybe a foot off the wall. Both feet came off the floor, let's put it that way. And I know that doesn't seem tremendous, but when you are dealing with somebody like my son and you know what he's capable of,
right,
and you never thought him getting that far, it was awesome, you know? So I want to pass that on as well. There's just so many things out there, you know, that these guys, I never thought I would do with my son. So the symbols come so much further than just the symbol welcoming families into the everyday places. They're coming into giving opportunities and experiences that they would have never ever tried, you know. So it's just something my slogan is opening doors, opening hearts, and creating smiles every day and everywhere. I guess that kind of says it all.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think what you're doing is incredible. My daughter, I have 2 grandchildren. My daughter is 40. I have a grandson that's 20 and a granddaughter that's 6. And they're healthy children. But my daughter just became sort of like a stepmom to 6 other children, all with special needs, and autism is huge in it. So we've welcomed them with open arms. I mean, so when I hear you say there are people that say leave, or I don't understand that. I never would understand that.
Yep.
Never.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people, you know, I think now that they see what I'm doing, because I've been doing this for, you know, some time now. You're talking 2021. I started this in 2013 or 2012, but you know, a lot of people are starting to really see what's going on and what I'm doing. And when I do these little test drives, I try to put them on video, and I put them on my YouTube channel, which usually people are looking for the Autism Welcome there. But initially, when I started SmaartMom, I did videos there. So I never changed the channel name, which is A Way Through Autism. But even in a sense, it's still, that's what the Autism Welcome symbol is. It's just another way through autism. It's just, you know, so that if they wanted to look at some of the videos of some of the places that I have given timeouts to, that's somewhere they could always check out. And I try to reshare some of the same places just because if they want to go and check out maybe the same event I'm having the following year and they're not so sure what to expect, then they can watch the video and it gives them a good sense of what to expect. A big example of that one was I, again, put more on my plate. I started doing what's called a bebop a couple of years ago. And the bebop was a big success. A lot of people were kind of surprised by it. But the bebop is actually an all-day test drive. And it consists of 5 places, all of them having the symbol at the entranceway. And I actually have it mapped out for everybody to start from that morning until that evening, including lunch, to bebop from one place to the next place. And each place they have a punch-out card. And once they get done on the last place, they bring me their punch-out card and they get a little prize. And the last time I had it there, we had lunch at McDonald's because obviously the McDonald's has the symbol there, you know, and we've had up in Lake City, we do the same thing. We do the bebop usually in DeLand, Florida, and we do another bebop in the Lake City area up in North Florida. So I can kind of touch base with everybody all around if at all possible. And there was actually a place up there that jumped on board, which I was really thrilled about with Lake City. They have a karate place, the Academy of Martial Arts. And I was so thrilled to see them jump on board. And they actually have a number of other places that they've actually recruited who have now symbols in their place as well. Beautiful. And Gators, Harley Davidson motorcycles, I guess they also jumped on a few years ago, which I never thought these kind of places would, you know, reach out to me. But apparently they were good friends with this man who owns the Great Chicago Fire Brewery and Tap. And apparently those two teamed up and one year put together a little event and did it did a really nice job trying to get the word out about the symbol and all these motorcycles. I've never seen so many motorcycles in my life, but I mean, they were so supportive. And then they brought me over and said, here, we want to put the symbol here. So now I've got the symbol at these 2 places as well. But it's just phenomenal, the places and the hearts that we've been touching. And I think they're even more enthralled when I tell them that the symbol, each symbol that's put out there, the smile on that symbol is actually Dustin's writing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow.
So he is literally a part of that symbol. And the A and the W, I actually sat down with real puzzle pieces and had Dustin paint those puzzle pieces, and we created the letters. And then we just kind of positioned them. So, I mean, it started out a handmade symbol. It wasn't drawn out or anything like that. It was actually puzzle pieces that we put together. I've got the little nose in there that's actually SmaartMom. And that was another little icon of mine that I put together years ago when I created my SmaartMom. And then I really wanted Dustin to be more a part of it. And he is my smile. So why not be the smile on my symbol? So Autism Welcome Smile is literally my Autism Welcome son.
That's beautiful. So why don't you tell everyone once again what SmaartMom symbolizes, and also how to get in touch with you and what we can do to help.
You can go to my website again, which is www.autismwelcomed, ending with a D.com, or you can go to the Facebook page. You can also find me on YouTube and watch some of the videos there, which the YouTube channel is A Way Through, which is THROUGH, through autism. And it's all one word. There's no spaces in between. Or you can just Google me. I've been doing this for so long, and I've got hundreds of videos out there. You would think I have no life. I have got hundreds of videos out there to the point where you can just Google SmaartMom with 2 A's and I pop right up.
Okay.
Or you can just Google Autism Welcome symbol and we pop up. But if you really want to be a part of this, Dustin and I would so appreciate that, among all the hundreds of families out there walking in my shoes, I'm sure. And just simply reach out. Tell me you want to be a part of this by giving the symbol a permanent home at the entranceway. Like I said, they have to send me a picture with them smiling with the symbol, and it has to stay there every day. If it doesn't stay there every day, then that's not the home suitable for that symbol. And that's the whole thing. It has to be part of us every day. So my families go in there and know it's not a one-time thing. They're always going to feel welcomed, and they're going to never be asked to leave. They're going to get the understanding. And most of all, they're going to get the acceptance that I know they crave more than anything.
Well, that's beautiful. I want to thank you so much for doing this interview and getting out all this information. If you want, you can even email me letters. I can bring them to different businesses here in New Jersey. I have a lot of family members that own businesses, even in New York. I mean, you can send them to me and I'll be more than happy to do that.
You know, I think letters are great, but Geri, honestly, to me, I'm a visual person. And I think people are visual more than ever too. And what I usually try to suggest is, that was the whole reason I made the Autism Welcome video, because it's only 12 minutes long.
Okay.
And it shows me, which is nice because you're seeing the person. And I tell them firsthand what it's all about, why I did it. And then after that, if you're not already hooked in, it follows up with so many pictures of places who have jumped on board and, you know, show the symbol there with them smiling. So it's seeing is believing.
Okay.
And when they see that,
okay.
I think they're more inclined to say, yeah, I want to be a part of that family. So, and, you know, it's not those little places, which those little places are great. But a lot of these places are well-known places, like I'd mentioned, McDonald's and Burger King and Lowe's. These are places you would never expect to see it on board. But I went to them individually and they jumped on board, although I would like to see more places like that jump on board and not just randomly.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you again for this interview, and I want to let everyone out there know. Go to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share this video everywhere. So
I appreciate that.
yes, and I want to thank you, and give your son a hug from me, please.
Absolutely. Hugs back to you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me.
You're
I wish
welcome.
Dustin could talk a little bit, but he'll ride over me with the talking, although he's got a good announcing voice.
Oh, thank you.
All right. You have a good evening.
All
Talk
right,
to you soon.
sweetheart. Bye.
Bye.